Yes, I don't know. I went to the Kensington Place shelter today because tomorrow is the soup kitchen day in the Royal Square, where we have a soup kitchen which a whole selection of gastronomic soups are on offer. And not for the people who live in the shelter, of course, they're adequately fed, I'm glad to say, but so that the general public can buy soup. It's £3 a time minimum contribution. They can give what they like, give £20 if they like. But it's an event which is, I think this is the 21st year. Now this picture here behind us shows the shelter in Kensington Place. It's one of the shelters. I think there's about 4 shelters or refuges and different things that there are in Jersey now. This is one of them. It's not very salubrious looking from the front, is it? It's not. It has a sort of a charity look about it, to my way of thinking. I don't know. Obviously, if they had more money, they could possibly do better. So that's all part of the problem, isn't it? But I'm not happy with this. 21 years of having this activity of... It's almost become a part of an institution that we do this. It's obviously somebody needs to do it. There should not be people who are homeless. There always will be a few people who are homeless in any community for whatever reasons. But it's become sort of a way of life for all of us, not just for the people who are actually living on the street or wherever. And I went up to the park afterwards, where quite a few people hang out. I couldn't find anybody there who would speak to me. Nobody about they were not on camera. They said some things. They said some surprisingly critical things off camera, but I've got no way of verifying what they said. I was at the shelter, I went in. This is, as I said, this is the Kensington Place one. It's got an access from Lewis Street at the back. I wasn't told anything. I wasn't allowed to film inside. The worker there, who's been there quite a few years, was not able, he said, to give me any information for client confidentiality and data protection reasons. So I could learn nothing about. A person I spoke to in the square said the standard of accommodation is very satisfactory. It's much improved. But it's the whole ethos of having hostels, and quite a few of them, and it seems to be a growing problem. It seems to be, I don't know. We can have figures. I don't know how we collect figures accurate. Presumably a lot of people who become homeless leave the island, I presume. I don't know. It's one of those areas, social areas, like we don't know about housing really. We don't know the housing situation in Jersey. There's superficial attempts at finding out. But who is homeless? Who's in substandard accommodation? We don't know. And I find this every year, 21 years, that we're still having this as a charitable activity, which is another aspect. Why charitable? Why is so much in society, in our society, this incredibly rich society, why is it becoming charitable? And I contrast it with this sort of magazine here. You know, we get these supplements in the, I don't know if you can see this, the Home Life supplement in the JP. Very expensive houses are featured for sale, and this is a regular thing. Okay, that's part of the Jersey way of life. We are a finance centre. But I would like to know, what do these people who live in the shelter or have to resort to the shelter, what do they think when they see these sorts of feature articles on super luxury properties? No end of them. There seems to be no end of super luxury properties being built in Jersey, but year after year there's this continuing demand. The other thing I wanted to speak to in the shelter was this magazine. Of course, this is The Big Issue, which has been going in the UK for many years. This is the current issue, which is on sale. It's sold on the street by homeless people. and they raise a few pounds. It's £3, which is the price of the soup. But they don't have copies of this in the shelter. And I asked some of the people, I said, are you not in? Well, that's about the UK. But homelessness is the same problem wherever you are, isn't it? There may be different reasons, housing laws and work restrictions. There may be all sorts of reasons about Jersey, but basically homelessness is homelessness. So the big issue, it raises and discusses issues which are very relevant to Jersey, but they don't stock it, they don't have copies. I would have thought all the shelters would have copies for residents to read and hopefully contribute to, write articles about the situation in Jersey. Let the world know that, yes, this is a wonderful, wealthy island, but it's not wonderful and wealthy for everybody. There are problems here. And I would hope it would generate more attention to how it might be dealt with, not on a charitable basis. I mean, the whole ethos of the big issue was that people could help themselves, their homelessness, their poverty, whatever the reasons were. They could sell this on the street, which is where we bought this one, on the street, and help themselves out of their problem. Now, I don't know what happens here. I don't know what encouragement there are. I was speaking to one lady today who does live there, and she's got a key worker. So there is a process going on. I would have liked to have found out. I wasn't able to find out today. And there was urgency, because it is the soup kitchen tomorrow, and I wanted to put up a blog to coincide with that. I will go into the square tomorrow, or it'll probably be today by the time you see this, and do my usual attempt at interviewing people and see. But I'm not at all happy about this business, about this same performance with a menu being published of soups for sale. It raises money, but I'm wondering what it's doing to our brains. See, another aspect, people who are homeless, quite a few congregate in the square, in the parade park. And of course there's a lot of monuments there, monuments to war, glorious death in war. This is old General Don. Of course, I find it odd. I mean, this is the sort, what do you build monuments to in a society? Will anybody build a monument? Like he was more famous as a general. I mean, obviously we know generals who fight battles, and he was lieutenant governor or the governor in Jersey for quite a few years, built for a few years. I'm not aware he did anything about homelessness. And there was a lot of homelessness. 1806, when he was here, that period of time, there was a lot of homelessness. Can we have will there be a monument to somebody, some organisation? Will they build a monument to eliminating homelessness in Jersey? Will that be, rather than, we've got the senator, we've got another more, they're upsetting, names that shall not be forgotten. But the homeless people, and the poverty that goes with homelessness, because it's far more widespread than just people who've got nowhere immediately to live. It's all about the poverty that goes with it, which exists in this incredibly rich island. And here's General Don. I don't know, it's as though death in war is more glorious than doing this sort of... It doesn't have to be on a charitable basis, what I'm saying. It should be our obligation. Like we're supposed to have an obligation, all of us, toward children, the welfare of children. We've had such a scandal in this island. And of course it's the poverty of a lot of children which is part of the problem. So these issues, doing things on a charitable basis, is it acceptable? Can we not tackle some of these? We've had this government plan this week, and some of the things which were rejected, the amendments which were rejected, it doesn't show us, to my way of thinking, as a very caring society in many ways. I mean, it does seem as though we're absolutely stuck on this finance trail, and I'm not sure where it's leading us. But homelessness, you'd think we could tackle that, wouldn't you? You'd think there shouldn't be a 22nd and a 23rd year of soup kitchens, should there? That's not on, is it?